What's good, everybody? This your boy D Money, and we on another episode of the A Lott Of Fashion podcast. And what we're going to talk about today is primarily attention is the new currency. So make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure that you share with your friends and family, and make sure that you follow us on Instagram and our other social platforms in order to stay up to date with new releases and also, podcast and web series releases as well too, and giveaways and sales. So follow us at dreams_of_rulers. It's on the bottom of the screen as well too. And check out our website www.dreamsofrulerstreet.com. So make sure you tap in. We got the From the Mud collection available on our website. We got the spoken word for From the Mud, the album available on all streaming platforms, and we also got the From the Mud poetry book on all book platforms, ebook and print available as well too, on all platforms. So definitely make sure you tap in with us. Make sure you check out the vibe From the Mud, the collection, and even the short film that we have as well on YouTube. So definitely tap in with us. But like I said, mainly what we've been talking about on this series is building a product from nothing, and the main thing is attention is the new currency in this episode. So the main thing is visibility drives opportunity in modern business. The internet rewards attention before it actually rewards talent, skill, gifts, people that actually are creative. But you even hear musicians, you hear rappers, you hear artists, true artists speak on this a lot, and it's even drove pure artists away from industry standards just because of the lack of balance in between. That's why you see a lot of markets oversaturated with a lot of the same products. But number one is the business of visibility. Attention creates awareness. Awareness creates sales opportunity, and consistency increases your reach, your impressions, your analytics. So all this does matter, but when it comes to attention creating awareness, you got to think about it this way. It's very important because it's a sense of marketing when you are building a brand, a business. It's much needed because, of course, people got to hear your voice. They got to hear what you got to say. They got to hear what you have to offer in order for it to be successful. They got to see it visible. So you got to put yourself out there, or you got to have somebody that represents your brand, something that represents your brand and speaks to the people in a way that is relatable and authentic. Number two to this is awareness creates sales opportunity. Like I just said, pretty much when you are creating attention for yourself, whether it's through live stream, IRL streams, whether it's posting reels and posts and other content on social media, it's going to create opportunities for sales if you do it the right way. If you do it in a high quality way where it's not just trying to sell, but you're creating an experience for the customers, it's going to drive in a lot of visibility for your brand. But like I said, if you're just selling, then nobody's going to want to hear that, because imagine somebody coming to your door every day trying to sell you a product. Eventually you're going to call the cops or you're going to shoot that motherfucker. So it's just a matter of understanding the tone and how you're trying to speak to people. You want to sound like an expert. You don't want to sound like an amateur. The next thing is consistency increases your reach. As you're putting yourself out there, you want to do it on a daily basis, because the more that you're out there, the more that people see you, the more that they adapt and understand you. They're able to grasp what you're trying to say instead of just trying to catch it in 5 to 30-second bits, or even a long form bit, because people have a short attention span. So the best thing that you can do is show up every day, so that way they can eventually take the time out to find out what you're about. Number 2 is why content matters. Content builds familiarity. So when it comes to you posting different forms of content for your brand, you posting different videos, different short form or different long form, or all forms of content for your brand, you gotta think about the customer first, because that's going to create a high not a high formality, but it's going to create a high engagement from the audience. So that way they can understand not only what you're trying to put out there as far as a product, but they can also understand the vibes, the energy, the emotions that were behind that product. Formality builds trust. Once people are actually able to receive the message behind the product and the brand, they're going to be able to start to put out that engagement, that like, that those loving comments, those messages of admiration, those fan club donations, those showing up to your different events unexpected, and binge watching your content even when you're not posting new content. So trust increases your conversion rate, and that's why you see the successful businesses that are successful, because they were able to build trust that created so much engagement from those people that decided to support, that they had no choice in their mind but to buy their product. They felt like it's inevitable at this point, that they are a part of the brand. So number 3 is turning attention into monetization. Attention without strategy is useless. It's wasted time, because at the end of the day, you're just entertainment that is a trend, that's a hot topic, and if you're not really set up with a plan, strategy into where you're going and how you plan on going, then things will never get done properly, and you'll have no organization to where people will feel like they can relate to you or your content. So eventually it's gonna die off. Businesses need conversion systems. They need systems. A business, doesn't matter whether you're a comedian, a fashion designer, a rapper, whatever, chef, doesn't matter. You need systems within what you're doing, so that way you can scale. So that way you can have other people come into the business, profit off of what is being done, be able to step into those systems, operate it just like you would, and no drop off. That's the whole point of having a system in your business, so that way there is no drop off. The last thing is, audiences should, move towards, your business. They should feel like they're a part of your business. They should always feel like each process that you put out is a demonstration of how they live, how they will put things together, how they would think, how they would feel. It's all about relatability, emotion, and trust. Those 3 things are important to gaining engagement, attention, proper awareness for your brand. If you're doing it the right way, you can see a lot of the successful brands that are coming up are doing the same thing. They're not just putting out products, they're putting out an experience, and that's why they're gaining success. So put a solid plan together, Keep visualizing your purpose. Execute the plan. Don't feed off of your emotions. And your dreams and goals will come to fruition. Keep visualizing. I am out.